When Mikel Arteta first came to Arsenal, nobody really knew what to expect. He was young, he had no experience as a head coach, and Arsenal at that time were broken in many ways. The club has lost its identity. Fans were tired, players were so confused, and belief was very low. Even Arteta himself probably did not imagine that 6 years later, he would still be here, standing at the center of everything Arsenal have become. Me, I always like to remind people of where it started. Arteta's first match as Arsenal manager was not even from the touchline. He was sitting in the stands, watching Arsenal play Everton and draw 0-0. That moment tells you a lot. From the beginning, this was never going to be an easy job. It was going to be slow, painful, and demanding. Over these 6 years, Arteta has changed almost everything in Arsenal. Not just the team on the pitch, but the way Arsenal think. Seriously, this man have really tried. The way they train, the way they recruit players, the way young players are trusted, the way standards are set. Today, it is very hard to imagine Arsenal without Arteta. He's not just a coach, he's the face of the project. But here is the truth that many fans do not like to talk about. Nothing in football lasts forever. Not managers, not players, not even good projects. One day, Arteta will leave Arsenal. You understand? The real question is not if he leaves. The real question should be, when is Arteta going to leave? And under what condition is he going to leave? Arteta has now been Arsenal manager for 6 years. That already makes him one of the longest serving managers in the Premier League. In modern football, that is rare. Clubs change managers quickly. Pressure is content. Results decides everything. So the fact that Arteta has lasted this long tells you how much trust the club has placed in him. But Arteta is not the type of man who wants to stay somewhere forever just for comfort. People close to him have said he never planned to be another Arsene Wenger or Sir Alex Ferguson in Arsenal. He lives football with extreme intensity. He gives everything, mentally and emotionally. That kind of life is exhausting. At some point, every manager like that needs a break. Still, there are strong reasons why Arteta may want to stay. This Arsenal team is young. Most of the players are entering their best years. Almost all of them are under long contract. The hard rebuilding work is done. Now is the moment to win games, win trophies. Walking away now would be very difficult for Arteta because Arteta has already tested success once when he won the FA Cup in 2020. But since then, there has been no major trophy. He has come close, very close, and when you get that close, hunger becomes stronger. Winning becomes addictive, just like Pep Guardiola at Manchester City. Arteta may feel that now is the time to enjoy the reward for all the pain. There's also his personal life. Arteta and his family are settled in London. His children are growing up here. Moving to another country, starting again, is not a small decision. That matters more than people think. Then there is power at Arsenal. Arteta has real control. He has influence over transfers, over training, over standards, over culture. Not every big club gives a manager that level of trust. If he leaves Arsenal, will he have the same power elsewhere? That is not guaranteed because no team will give him that kind of power, that kind of freedom. Of course, there will always be interest. People and clubs might be interested in him. Big clubs watch Arteta closely. Clubs like Barcelona, Paris Saint-Germain, Manchester City, Real Madrid. These are clubs that have money and ambition. They have a lot of money and they can give. Some of them also have emotional connection to Arteta's past. If Pep Guardiola leaves City, people will talk. That pressure will come. But Arteta will also look at examples around him. Look at Xabi Alonso at Real Madrid, a close friend of Arteta, a brilliant coach. He left a comfortable project to go to Real Madrid, and it has not been easy with him. Big clubs bring big pressure. Big egos bring big politics. Arteta will be watching and learning from this. Arsenal has spent a lot of money to get to this level. Over 6 years, more than £500 million. The owners have backed Arteta strongly. They believe in him, but spending like that cannot continue forever. At some point, balance must return. And Arteta will ask himself an important question. Can Arsenal keep competing at the highest level if spending slows down? Contractors will come, not just for Arteta, but for his staff. These things are expensive, complicated, and timing matters a lot in this kind of situation. Arsenal may want to wait and see what happens this season. If trophies come, decisions becomes easier. If they do not, hard conversation will follow, because you see, Arteta has not won trophies, but he pursued them but he did not win. That is the uncomfortable part of football. Even good work needs reward. Even patience has limits. Arteta himself will ask if he still has the energy to go again if success does not arrive soon. One thing is clear: Arsenal's patience with Arteta has already paid off in many ways. The club is respected again, feared again, competitive again. That is not small. It took courage to trust a young manager through very difficult moments. Many clubs would not have done that. You understand? They would have sent Arteta away. Now, Arteta stands in a powerful position. Arsenal are strong. The squad is ready. The future is open. And for now, he holds the cards. What happens next is define not just his career, but Arsenal's next era. Now, when you look at Arteta's journey, you also have to remember how unusual it really is. Modern football does not give managers time. One bad run, like one bad moment, and you are gone. One poor season, and the noise becomes unbearable. Look at Arne Slot now. But Arsenal stayed patient, not because everything was perfect, but because they believed in the direction. And that belief changed everything. There was a time when Arsenal looked lost. Players did not run. The stadium felt quiet. Fans argued among themselves more than they argued with opponents. Arteta walked into that environment and chose discipline before popularity. He made big calls. He let senior players go. He demanded standards that were uncomfortable. At that time, many people doubted him. Some even laughed at him, but Arteta never changed his message. Slowly, the culture shifted. Training intensity increased. Accountability became normal. Players who did not buy in were moved on. Players who stayed knew exactly what was expected from them. Not somebody who can play anyhow. Arteta will send it out, seriously. That's why you see these players. All of them, they are world-class players. That is why this Arsenal team feels different. They do not panic easily. They do not hide. They take responsibility. But here is the part people do not talk about enough. Doing something like this takes energy. Mental energy, emotional energy. Arteta lives football every second. He does not switch off. And after 6 years, that weight is real. Even the strongest minds feel it. That is why questions about the future are natural. Not because Arsenal wants him to go. You understand? Not because Arteta is unhappy. But because this level of intensity cannot last forever without rest. Arteta has to rest. He needs some time. So at some point, every manager needs space to breathe, you understand? See, walking away now would be extremely difficult. This Arsenal squad is ready. Not almost ready, ready. The players are in their prime. The structure is stable. The belief is real. Arteta is standing at the door of something he has worked years to build. So he might not want to leave, you understand? Leaving before lifting the biggest prizes will feel unfinished. You can see it in how he speaks. You can see it in how he reacts to small mistakes. He's not satisfied anymore. He's demanding. You understand? He wants perfection because he knows the margins are small. That tells you his hunger has not faded. But football also asks hard questions. What happens if Arsenal do not win a major trophy again this season? What happens if they come close and fall short? Can Arteta go again with the same fire? Can the club back him again with the same pace? These are uncomfortable questions, but they are real. Money is another quiet factor. Arsenal has spent heavily, very heavily. They have pushed their limits to compete with clubs backed by massive wealth. That cannot continue forever. At some point, spending slows. When that happens, the manager must adapt. Arteta will want to know that Arsenal can still fight at the top when they spend in pools. Like, when Arsenal pays to buy players, will they still fight as they fight like this? Because they are not winning trophies and they are spending like other clubs, other biggest clubs. That is where trust becomes important. Trust between manager and owners. Trust between manager and players. Trust that everyone is still moving in the same direction. Right now, that trust exists, but football never stands still. Arteta also knows that opportunities elsewhere may not wait forever. Clubs like Barcelona, Paris Saint-Germain, or even Manchester City, if changes happen, we always be watching, like we want to employ Arteta. These are clubs with money, power, and history. Temptation is real, even if loyalty is very strong. Arteta will be tempted whether to leave. But there's also fear in those moves. New leagues, new politics, new pressure. What happens to Xabi Alonso at Real Madrid? It's a reminder. Big clubs do not wait. They do not protect you. Arsenal gave Arteta space to grow. That is rare. So when you put everything together, you see why this moment matters. Arteta is not at a crossroads yet, but the road ahead is getting clearer. Success will decide everything. Winning changes conversation. Winning buys time. Winning creates legacy. Right now, Arteta holds the cards. Arsenal are strong. The team believes. The fans are behind him. The club trusts him. But football is ruthless. It always asks for proof again. The next phase of Arteta at Arsenal will not be about building anymore. It will be about delivering. And that is the hardest part of all. So when people ask, what next for Mikel Arteta? The answer is not dramatic. It is not about living tomorrow or staying forever. It is about timing, energy, and truth. Arteta has given Arsenal an identity again. He has rebuilt the culture. He has raised standards. He has made players believe. That alone already puts him among the most important managers in the club's modern history. But football never stopped asking some questions. The biggest question now is simple. Can Arteta not being close into being champion? Like, Arteta will pursue a league. You think that at least this season, Arteta will win something big. But at the end, he just end up being the second. Because there's a big difference between competing and winning. You have to be winning trophy. Arsenal have competed. They have pushed. They have grown. Now the club, the fans, and even Arteta himself want more than progress. They want trophies. They want trophies that defines eras. If Arsenal win the league or the Champions League, everything changes. The pressure disappears. The trust becomes permanent. Arteta becomes untouchable in a different way. But if the trophies keep slipping away, then hard conversation will come. Not because Arteta failed, but because football always demands results at the highest level. For Arteta himself, he will also have to listen to his body and his mind. He lives football every second. He feels every defeat deeply. He carries the club on his shoulders. One day, he may need a break. Not because he's tired of Arsenal, but because the job takes everything from you. Right now, though, there's no rush. You understand? Arsenal is strong. Arteta is focused. The squad believes in him. The owners back him. And the fans see him as one of their own. That is a powerful combination. So what next for Arsenal Arsenal and Mikel Arteta? More pressure, higher standard, bigger expectation, and a clear mission. Don't believe into history because fans and the entire Arsenal squad want to see trophies. What they believe in, they want to see it because these people really believe in Arteta, and they believe in him for him to bring them trophies. So if he fails, problem might come. Like if they wanted to turn this era into something, you understand? They want him to walk away with something. And whatever happens in the future, one thing is already clear. Arsenal took a gamble on Arteta, and that gamble changed the club forever. If you enjoyed this calm and honest football conversations, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share your thoughts. Do you believe Arteta will complete the journey, or do you think the hardest part is still ahead? Please make sure you subscribe. I will see you in the next one. Bye!